The big thing for today is the presidential thing, which is I'm gonna have to explain once again how the system works and how the government is trying to squeeze out as much time as it can to sort of, I guess, give positions to as many people as possible and throw out as much money as possible, as in to its people. And as always, the president of Poland has proven to be a useful tool for the far right government, even when the far right government is on its way out. Mr. Pan remained Mr. Pan to the end. I mean, he's gonna be president for a while still, like for a year. And then we're gonna have a presidential election. But we're gonna talk about this soon. Let's put on some music. Okay, we're ready. So, as you may or may not know, the Law and Justice Party has lost. It won, but it also lost. So, we're going to do a recap of what happened in the elections. I'm going to give you a simplistic lesson in Polish politics. So, there were the parliamentary elections to the Sejm, and Law and Justice Party got the most amount of votes as a single party. But on the other hand, the coalition of the Civic Coalition, the Third Way, and the New Left Wing has collectively earned more than Law and Justice. So far, so good. So, with that said, now all that is left to do is for the Sejm to gather for the first time, the new Sejm, and for the president to propose a candidate for the new prime minister, who will, of course, be in charge of forming the new government. And this is where our little story begins, because there is this, even though Law and Justice Party lost, it is customary that the party that gets the most amount of votes be the party from which the president proposes a candidate for the prime minister. Yes? But also, there was this meeting with President Duda, where he said there are two serious candidates for prime minister right now. One is Morawiecki, the current prime minister from Law and Justice, and Tusk, the leader de facto of the opposition, Donald Tusk. And we've waited because the president has given himself the maximum amount of time to make his decision, and even still he can sort of change his decision, but that's neither here nor there. He has sort of officially declared what he has decided today. So the procedure is this: the president proposes a candidate for the prime minister. The Sejm votes to give this candidate the vote of confidence. And if it if the candidate gets the vote of confidence, everything's okay. And if he doesn't, then the role, the mm, responsibility to select the candidate for the prime minister goes to the same, and the same then sort of proposes a different candidate. And then there is a whole different procedure if that candidate does not get the vote of confidence either. And so, President Duda, in his wisdom, has decided that the best way forward is to stall for time for the current government. In other words, he decided that the candidate for the new prime minister will be the current prime minister from Law and Justice, Morawiecki, which he, of course, justifies with the whole um, it's customary. And besides, if things go bad, the same will choose the best candidate. So he just bought a bit more time for the current government in the office to take care of whatever horrible things that they were doing for the last 4 years. Which is interesting because the government has purchased a lot of paper shredders recently, which became a meme. The government has purchased a lot of paper shredders to get rid of um, documents that might not be ideal. So now that we have set the stage for our for further discussing this topic, we're gonna look at this article that we've got here. I think I've explained it well, but who knows, maybe the article will add some additional information that I did not think to include. My throat feels funny. President taps Poland's outgoing prime minister to form new government despite lack of a majority. Wah, 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 wah. This is what happens. This is the current president. This is the current prime minister. Look how friendly they are. Warsaw, Poland. AP. Poland's president on Monday tapped outgoing Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki to try to form a new government, even though his Law and Justice Party lost its parliamentary majority in a national election 3 weeks ago. The decision by President Andrzej Duda was likely to delay formation of a new government in Poland. So basically what I said. The fifth most populous country in the European Union, because the opposition won enough votes in the October 15th election to take control of parliament and oust the nationalist and conservative government after 8 years in power. Duda, an ally of the current government, said Law and Justice should get the first chance to form a government since it remains the country's biggest party. If Morawiecki fails, it will be up to the parliament to propose a prime minister and he will immediately endorse the candidate, the president added. Which, who knows what will actually happen? I'm just gonna say that, who knows? Everything is up in the air. But yes, he's just stalling for time. Following a calm analysis and conclusions, I have decided to task Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki with the mission of forming a government, Duda said in a televised address which I watched today. I decided to continue the good parliamentary tradition according to which the winning party is the first to be given the opportunity to form a government. Well, isn't that just special? Opposition politicians criticized Duda's decision, saying it creates political uncertainty while delaying the inevitable formation of a government under the opposition's leader, former EU President Donald Tusk, at a time of trouble in the world. That's true. Also, Donald Tusk had his own meeting today with all of the voters that waited till 3 a.m. to vote. Did you know that voting was happening in Poland till 3 a.m. and that a local pizza place delivered pizza, warm pizza for people who were waiting to vote for free or something like that? Did you know that? That was so wild. And so Duda went and met with the people who were voting till 3 a.m. and thanked them today, something like that. Yeah, 3 a.m. People were still waiting in line to vote till 3 a.m. because so many people voted. It was like the biggest vote turnout ever in the history of the universe. It was wild how many people went to vote for this particular election. And of course, which is interesting, the Duda hinted uh, at normalizing relations with Ukraine. That Poland will do everything it can to support Ukraine, and that we, and that's, and that is big. That there is big fear and uncertainty about the outcome of the war to the east, which means that Poland has to support because there's uncertainty and fear. You know? But let's continue. Let's not talk about that. But it is nice to see that somewhat sort of like a statement was already made of support. At a difficult geopolitical moment, the president is treating us to more weeks of chaos and bad political cabaret, said Grzegorz Schetyna of Tusk's Civic Platform Party. It's true. Potentially, like I think President Duda might drag this out for 4 more weeks or something. Another opposition politician, Kamila Gasiuk-Pihowicz, said Duda's tapping of Morawiecki as prime minister is a conscious action to the detriment of Poland and against the will of the Polish nation. It would have sounded cooler if he said the will of the Polish people. I am gonna sneeze. Hold on. I knew I was gonna sneeze. There was no immediate reaction from Morawiecki, but he has been saying since the election that he intends to try to build a new government. Thank you. The three opposition parties together won 248 seats in the 460-seat lower house of parliament, in a big win for Tusk, who was Poland's prime minister in 2007 to 14 and served as European Council president, a top job in the EU, in 2014 to 2019. The result indicated many Poles wanted to head in a new direction after Law and Justice's repeated clashes with the EU over laws that increased the party's power over the judicial branch, eroding the separation of powers. So basically, eroding democracy. Hello, Weeb Grinder. Would you like to join the page? Oh, hello. If Morawiecki fails to win backing in parliament, as expected, Poland might not have a new government in place until mid-December. Duda must appoint the new Morawiecki government within 14 days of the first session of the new parliament, which convenes next Monday. Morawiecki will then have a further 14 days to hold a confidence vote. Only then would it fall to parliament to appoint its choice for prime minister. So I was 4 weeks. 4 weeks of wasted time. This is so Polish that I just cannot believe how Polish this development is. Of course, when there's an opportunity to waste time, to stall, to drag your heels. But then again, in this case, it's just the far right government desperately trying to stay at the, I don't know, the water thing for a while longer, to stay at the pond for a little while longer. But that is all that it is. Desperation on the part of the Polish government. That's it. That's it for this bit. I really wanted to share with you this amazing news, because as you can see, just because the opposition won, it doesn't mean that the far right party will give up without kicking, screaming, and trying to stay in power for as long as humanly possible. Oh, yes. And President Duda also said that he believes that the Law and Justice will be able to form something, some desperate coalition, and gain the majority in the parliament. So it's a circus on wheels. Wheels on meals. But it is, unfortunately, the Polish way. So thank you for watching this. If you've enjoyed learning some more about the current Polish situation, then press the like, press the subscribe, press the bell, and also join the page and donate some money and tell all of your friends, because we are at 967 subscribers, which means that we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. This is what my mathematic knowledge tells me.